Well, this is one of the theories that scientists have recently drawn up to explain why our solar system is such an oddball when you compare it to other solar systems. There is one type of planet that is missing in our solar system, and that is a super-Earth. For those of you who don't know, a super-Earth is essentially a planet, a rocky planet, that has a higher size and mass than Earth, but smaller than Neptune. We have none of these in our solar system. Also, the gas giants and the ice giants are in the outer solar system. Whereas if you compare it to other solar systems, they tend to be closer to the star than Mercury is to the sun. And this particular theory is called the Grand Tack theory, or planetary migration. And the idea is that the gas giants originally formed much closer to the sun. In distance terms, I will be talking astronomical units. One astronomical unit is the distance between Earth and the Sun, so about 93 million miles. At the moment, Jupiter is about 5.2 astronomical units from the Sun, so 5 times further from the Sun than Earth is. The theory is that Jupiter originally formed about 3.5 astronomical units away from the Sun, and it began to move inwards towards the inner solar system. It began to migrate to a maximum distance of around 1.5 astronomical units, so between the orbits of Earth and Mars, if you like. And as it did this, because Jupiter is an absolute heavyweight of the solar system, the theory is that it ploughed through an early generation of inner planets that were forming. It would have completely decimated the majority of the debris and the planetary disk in the inner solar system, either consuming most of it itself, flinging it towards the sun, or just completely ejecting it out of the solar system as a whole. And it was only the formation of Saturn further out that Jupiter managed to get locked into an orbital resonance with Saturn, and it gradually got pulled back outwards, eventually coming to sit in the 5.2 astronomical unit distance that we know it is in now. And the possibility that some of those earlier planets being formed were super-Earths. But naturally, because Jupiter had caused so much damage, there was a lot less debris and a lot less planetary disk to form planets. And as a result, we ended up with a second generation of inner planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. And it could potentially explain why the inner planets are so much smaller. Obviously, this is just a crash course about the Grand Tack theory. If you want to know more, I suggest Googling it. How do I feel about this theory personally? I don't believe it, and I'll explain why. One fact I've known about Jupiter since I was about 6 years old is that it is twice as heavy as all the other planets in the solar system combined. So it's a little bit difficult for me to believe that Saturn could have affected this planet's orbit, prevented it from moving closer to the sun and started pulling it outwards. And this other issue I have is with most theories about how the solar system formed. They have yet to come up with a solid theory as to how Uranus and Neptune formed. But hey, it's a theory at the end of the day. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. It is a reasonable explanation as to why there are no super-Earths in the solar system. But as for how the solar system formed, we're probably not going to know for sure in our lifetime.